Hey sports fans, we've got baseball, we've got Masters, we've got basketball, we've got everything and inside information you can get. And guess what, Shawni?
What?
We've got the Red Zone. Welcome to the Red Zone. I'm Donnie Dwyer alongside Shawni Smith. Let's go with some running topics right now. The biggest major in the PGA Tour began in early part of the season. That's the Masters. Last year was Charles Schwartzel that stole the show, and this year it was Bubba Watson. This is what he said about winning the green jacket.
I trust everything. Every ounce of my body, I trust it all. I trust my abilities. I trust I can do it. And that was the whole day. I just kept trusting I was doing the right thing. If it was meant to be, it was going to happen. Somehow it happened, and I never had doubt that I couldn't pull that shot off.
You know, this tournament is so unique. Phil Mickelson a few years back hit almost the same shot from the pine trees. Why is this tournament so unique with like Bubba Watson and Charles Schwartzel and all these random guys winning?
Donnie, I think it's the tradition of the Augusta National Golf Course. It's the same golf course every year. It's the returning elite players and the new amateurs seeing. It gets the ball rolling for the beginning of the year. It starts it off. Everyone's really excited about the heated up season. It's just the great way to start over the year again and see who's going to be the next up-and-coming person in the season.
And a lot of people have been saying up-and-coming that, you know, is this Bubba Watson's time to start shining? Is this the time where he could be a star?
Yeah. I mean, he is the first player to hit the first double eagle, especially on the second hole. That's impressive coming off his part. But also, I think it was Bubba Watson. They say that it's a really big moral win for him and his wife, Angie. I mean, they were just adoptive parents of 1-month-old son, Caleb. So this is a really big year for him. Definitely an up-and-coming star. But do you think he is the next person as, let's say, Tiger Woods?
You know, I wouldn't say that. I mean, let's put it this way. I thought Bubba Watson would choke. He's a guy who misses putts down the stretch. He hasn't really won any big tournaments. And when you look at a guy like Tiger Woods, who's done it for many years, I mean, yes, he had his +3. Yes, he was frustrated. But at the same time, it's Tiger Woods. He's going to come back. Phil Mickelson is going to come back. You know, McIlroy's going to come back. These are the guys who are been doing it all the time and have those big wins. So if you could say Bubba Watson could do it again, and maybe put himself in that elite category, maybe win 2 majors, phenomenal. But again, Tiger Woods.
You can't say it by just one word.
You can't. But then again, Tiger Woods didn't do anything this week and was very frustrated. What do you think about his performance?
It was absolutely horrendous. You know, the only thing that kept him in his game was his short range. He had good putts, he had good chips, but definitely he struggled in the long range. He did quote after the Masters the other day, the only thing that kept me out of it was because he wasn't making those long-range shots, and he said, you know, he knows what to do, but he's just questioning everything. Why do you think that is?
I think that is because he's just not having confidence with his driver at all. Golf is all about confidence. You know, Bubba Watson said it in that voice, that shot right there, that, you know, I had the confidence, I trusted myself, and Tiger Woods just doesn't trust himself right now. But baseball's back, and we're talking about drivers. Well, now we're bringing back the summer fun, the hot dogs, and good old Cracker Jacks. But if you're that Boston Red Sox team, that means that September is still on your mind, Shawni. The team is now 1-5 under new manager Bobby Valentine, but what's going on right now?
It's definitely the whole new manager thing. I think it's just getting back into the swing of things. You know, Terry Francona was there for 8 seasons. You definitely build a relationship and you know what to expect and you know where it's going. With Valentine, it's just getting into the rhythm with the new players. Plus, September is definitely still hanging over their heads. That was the most epic collapse of all of MLB history. It's still April. The season's young. I think the Red Sox will definitely come back and rally.
No, I agree with you. They started off 0-4 last year, and they were a team that no one even believed in. And then June, July, and August, they were one of the hottest teams in baseball. And one thing about this team is their offense is great, but their pitching and bullpen is the thing that's struggling right now. If you're the Boston Red Sox, you got to go and make some new moves. They've lost a lot of personnel. If you're the Red Sox, you got to make some moves now. My last question would be, you know, how do they try to get with the Yankees and get with the Rays and compete with those teams when September is the most meaningful part of the whole entire year?
Definitely from what they lost last year, they need to go out and find a closer. Pitching is every team, look at the Brewers. we lost Prince Fielder as a big hitter, but our pitching right now with Greinke and everyone and Giovanni, that's what's keeping us in it. So pitchers is what they need. Also, they lost David Ortiz, which was a big clutch hitter, so they should probably, I would say, go out and find another big, like, 3-4 hitter.
Totally, and I'm going to stick with the bad in baseball and talk about Ozzie Guillen. And Ozzie's just being Ozzie. This week, he told Time Magazine, quote, "I respect Fidel Castro. You know why? A lot of people have wanted to kill Fidel Castro for the last 60 years, but that expletive is still here." Here's what he said in the press conference yesterday about his comments.
Very embarrassed and very sad in my part because I thought, it's funny thing because I thought next time I'm going to see this room with this many people, it's going to be with the World Series trophy next to me. Unfortunately, it's not. And like I say, I apologize to the people here outside who was looking at me, and I'm very, very, very sorry about the problem, about what happening, and I will do everything to make him better. Everything in my power to make him better.
He says he wants to make it better, Shawni, but he was suspended 5 games by the MLB. Was that right?
I think it was definitely right. The Miami community is big supporters of the Marlins, and they are there, and it's very Hispanic, very Cuban descent and ancestry is in the Miami area. So I think it's right to suspend him 5 games. Plus, look at how many players come from Cuba and other Hispanic countries who are players in the MLB. The MLB needs to stick by this and support the players who come back and are from different countries, and even coaches. I think it was the right thing to do.
You know, one thing that's really interesting about this whole thing, Shawni, is the fact that, you know, Ozzie was being Ozzie in Chicago, but now he's the Hispanic manager in a Hispanic community, and now he's saying certain things that can get him extremely in trouble. Okay, he's not being a guy who, you know, had a bunch of guys on his team that respected him. He made a massive mistake. How does he move on from this? How does he, you know, try to say where he wants to get championships in their ballpark?
I mean, it's definitely, I think he just has to let it go. Like, you can't talk to any more press or social media or like the New York Times. You shouldn't be talking about social issues. The manager needs to think about winning ball games, and that's what it needs to do now. He needs to get back on track with his team. They say they're going to stand behind him, so once he's back, just worry about the ball game.
Well, back on track, they are 2-3 on the season, and we'll see what they do tonight against the Phillies. But more trouble with coaches, this time on the college end. Arkansas fired head coach Bobby Petrino for unfairly hiring his mistress and intentionally misleading his boss about everything from their relationship to her presence at the motorcycle accident. That ultimately cost him his job. But what do you think of this whole ordeal? You know, where does Arkansas go from here? Because he built up that program to high standards. What happens now?
I think it was the right thing to let him go. It's one thing when it was just maybe a personal life thing, but when he involves the workplace and lies to his boss, there's no reason for him to stay. There's no one he should blame but himself. But if I was from Arkansas and a player on the team, I'd be really upset with the coach. I mean, their season last year was 21-5. They had an amazing season the last 2 seasons, and now he's just out and gone. And with NCAA football spring practice starting, there's a lot that the team needs to just have a mental boost, maybe take like a week and think about it, but then you just have to get back on track.
You know, I was really, really surprised by Arkansas fired him because this wasn't really an NCAA regulation. This was more of, you know, Arkansas not liking what he did, not the actions. So I'm interested to see who they go and pick up in the future and what Arkansas does to make themselves a better team in the future. But now we're going to go look inside our hot box and welcome Mark Freund, one of our friends, and, you know, talk about all this information. Mark, how you doing, buddy? Okay, well, the Stanley Cup playoffs start tonight, but the one thing is the Edmonton Oilers are receiving the first pick in the NHL draft for the 3rd straight year. What direction is the franchise moving towards?
Well, Donnie, despite the fact that Edmonton has not won the NHL draft lottery for the 3rd consecutive year, it is clear that the team still needs offensive help as they scored just the second fewest points in the NHL this year. Edmonton's last 2 #1 picks, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Taylor Hall, combined for 105 points this season, but owner Steve Tambellini said that he is excited to add another high-caliber player to the organization. Despite their lackluster performance this season, the Oilers could be headed for better times with 3 #1 picks in the fold.
And hopefully the Oilers, you know, send some oil to the United States so those gas prices get down. But the bounty situation is blowing up, and now we know Sean Payton is out for the season. Bill Parcells was reportedly going to take the job. Is he taking over the Saints?
In a word, Donnie, no. Bill Parcells, who has not coached in the NFL since 2006, said Wednesday that he has talked to Saints head coach Sean Payton and owner Mickey Loomis about their interim opening, but that he was planning on staying retired. Parcells last coached in the NFL with Dallas almost 6 years ago, and there is a lot of speculation as to why he might take a job that is surrounded in so much controversy at the moment. Now that Parcells is out of the picture, the Saints may fill their interim coaching job with assistant Joe Vitt, who of course will be suspended for the first 6 games of the season for his role in the now infamous bounty program.
Man, that thing is just twisting and twisting. Yeah. And to try and get rid of the bounty situation out of mind, the NFL draft is 2 weeks away, and everyone was talking about number 1 and number 2. Both Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III met with the Redskins and Colts. What are the franchises going to do? Which decisions are they going to make?
Well, Colts owner Jim Irsay has already stated that he's going to use their number 1 overall pick on a quarterback. While he has not specified which signal caller he will go with, many believe that it will be Andrew Luck, who is considered the most NFL-ready quarterback since Peyton Manning, whom of course the Colts released last month. Of course, the Washington Redskins, owners of the number 2 pick, stand poised to take whoever Indianapolis chooses not to. And many believe that it will be Baylor quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Robert Griffin III. RG3 will not work out for the Redskins in order to avoid injury, but he did meet with the team on Tuesday, and many believe that on draft day, we will be hearing Robert Griffin III's name called as the newest member of the Washington Redskins.
Oh my goodness, the Redskins 2 pick quarterbacks, 1 and 2. I hope none of them are bust. But sticking with the draft, but in a different sport, many college stars are leaving school to pursue the pros. I'm talking about college basketball to the NBA. Which guys stick out to you, Mark?
Well, the Big Ten was a prospect hotbed during the college season, and that reputation has held strong in the early NBA draft season. The most notable draft entrant has got to be Jared Sullinger of Ohio State. As expected, the stellar sophomore forward officially entered the draft last week, concluding his monstrous 2-year run as a Buckeye and heading to the NBA, where he should be highly valued as a power forward. There's no question that Sullinger is ready for the next level. What really stuck out, however, was the somewhat unexpected decision by 2 Indiana players, Cody Zeller and Christian Watford, to return to the Hoosiers. Many scouts had Zeller as a top 10 pick, but with the remarkable duo returning to Bloomington, it might be time to pencil them in as a preseason top 5 team next year, Donnie.
Ooh, top 5, but do you think Sullinger will be a top 5 pick?
No, I think he goes between 10 and 15, somewhere in there. I think that the draft is so loaded this year that it's going to be darn near impossible to have Jared Sullinger in that top 10.
Well, yeah, when you got Anthony Davis and folks like that. Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for the information. We appreciate it. And when we get back, you better not go to sleep, because it'll either be a dream or a reality. Red Zone. We'll be right back. Welcome back, baseball gurus. This is my trophy for, best baseball guru of fantasy ever. But you know what? Baseball season just started, so it's time to talk about a little bit of dream or reality, Shawni, okay? First up is the New York Mets, who started 4-0 in the season, and they're in a good division. But is it a dream or reality that the Mets will win 85 games this year?
I'm going with dream on this one. They've had a great start to the beginning of the season, but they honestly don't have enough offense to last them with how competitive the NL East is. They can't stand it when it comes to July, September. They're peaking too soon, I think. I want your opinion on this coming from the East Coast, Donnie.
I mean, we have a Mets hat right here on the desk, but the thing is, I think the Mets are a reality, and the reason why is because their pitching is phenomenal. Their bullpen has been able to keep them in games. And opening day, they won 1-0. And on Saturday, they won 5-0 against the Braves. The key thing is, will David Wright stay healthy? If he's healthy, this team will be like the Rays of 2007 and maybe go to the postseason and create some magic. But if not, then it could totally be a dream. But right now, I'm saying reality. And now we talk about the former Mets, but new Cardinals center fielder Carlos Beltran, who's on fire to start the season with 3 homers in 6 games. Is that a dream or reality that Carlos will hit 30 home runs on the season?
Reality. I mean, he had 22 home runs last season. He's not that far away, and he's definitely the new medicine they needed after losing Albert Pujols. Him and Freese together in that Cardinals lineup is scary. It's really dangerous together. If they keep it up with how they're playing together, I mean, Cardinals are looking at another postseason appearance.
It's very true. I think the Cardinals look really dangerous. Actually, the lineup looks better without Pujols than it does with it. I think Beltran is really healthy right now. His knee's not bothering him at all. You can see in his stance.
And other players are definitely stepping up their game and not relying on Pujols as they have in the past. Each person is given a little bit of their own.
You know, they used to talk about Fielder, Braun, and now you could say Beltran, Freeze, and Holiday is probably the best in all of baseball. But switching to another team in the NL Central, the Cubs are off to a poor start, and they don't look like they'll be competitive. Shawni, dream or reality that they will lose 100 games this season?
Reality. The Cubs are such a young team. They gave up a lot of veteran players to save money and to gain new players with young experience. They definitely aren't going to be the #1 team this year, but definitely in the future, they're looking at a really good team because they have so many young players who will definitely know how the game is played by then.
And one of the young players is Starlin Castro, and he's been playing phenomenally up to this point, but you know, it's hard to win when your older players aren't doing well. They have no pitching. You know, I say it's totally a reality that it was 100 games. They could be like the Mets of 1962 and lose 120 games. They just don't have the personnel. They don't have the team to be able to. They have Theo Epstein. They have a good general manager to be able to boost them 3 years down the road.
And that's why they're getting these new players.
Yes.
It's because they're trying to build a greater franchise.
Exactly. But right now, they're going to be pretty stinky. To finish out, we're going to talk about what hasn't happened in forever. Man, I'm lost in my words. The Triple Crown. That's why no one's done it. The last time done it was Ted Williams. Is it a dream or reality that Tigers third baseman Miguel Cabrera can win that title?
I couldn't decide on this one. It can go either way if you look at it. I mean, look at how his last series against the Sox went. He went 5 for 11, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs. That's amazing. He was voted as American League Player of the Week. But I want to know, he has Prince Fielder on his team now. Do you think that could cause a little problem?
You know, you say it's going to cause a problem. I think it's a massive help for this team. I think with him there, you know, you look at Matt Kemp, almost won that award last year, but Jose Reyes won the batting title. You know, you look at Miguel Cabrera, he's going to get all of those things this year. He's going to get the average, the homers, and the RBIs. Look for him to even be MVP this season. Well, that's it for Dream or Reality. Now it's time to wake up and shake off those cleats. Inside the Huddle will be up next. You're watching The Red Zone. Welcome back. It's time to go inside the Huddle where we break down a few plays. Now I'm going to go put on my Mets hat, Shawni, and we're going to start by breaking down Johan Santana, and we're going to break down Mr. Steven Strasburg. As you see, it was the biggest matchup of the day. Santana, Strasburg. You know, you're taking a 30-year-old Cy Young winner versus a 20-year-old phenom, okay? Look at Santana. Location, location, location. Down low, up high, okay? And the reason why he does this, if you take a look here, he has a circle change like this that is just disgustingly dirty. As you can see, as I circle over here, that's how he gets his leverage. Then you look at this curveball by Mr. Strasburg. Take a look at that, Ike Davis. You're hitting some pine meat. Okay, Ronnie Cedeno, take that. Look at his curveball grip. That's how he does it. And a 90-mile-per-hour changeup? Come on, man. Again, look at that curveball. Disgusting. As you can see, off speeds were nasty for Mr. Strasburg. On the other side, you had Santana, who had some great location with that. So, Shawni, what do you got to break down?
We're going to switch it over to basketball here, and we're going to take you to the Bradley Center last night where Oklahoma City came and took on the Bucks. Here we have a play here by Harden where he's able to force the players left and dish it down low to Shofala to put in the slam dunk. Now let's slow this down a little bit so we can analyze this. He's able to force his defender left so it can set up the screen so he can drive right. He notices these players coming in and collapsing on it, so he uses a smart technique to put a little bounce pass in to Shofala as he's cutting down in the baseline. And he's able to pass it down low with a little bounce, and up for the dunk he goes. Dunks it so hard he can't stay on his own feet. But here, look at Shofala. He's not even able, look at that vertical. He's able to get up so high above all the other players. It's amazing and impressive on their part. Only a 5-second play, but definitely is good, clean teamwork basketball right there.
And Stephalosha, a guy who can get high and, oh man, what a play. Slam dunk caliber. And then we're going to switch it over to another New York team. We're going to switch it over to the Knickerbockers as Shumpert on the fast break. They're down by 1, passes to Baron Davis, to Carmelo for the slam and jammer. That's called great passing right there. Look at Shumpert right here. He misses the ball, but he keeps his eye up. He sees Baron Davis saying, hello, man, pass me the ball. I'm wide open. So Shumpert gives it to him. He sees Carmelo has all this room to the lane. Baron Davis doesn't need to score half the time. So he gives it to Carmelo for the slam and jammer. Break it down one more time. It's really quick, really fast, but that's teamwork at its finest. It's the greatest type of basketball right there. That's why the Knicks are chasing for the 8th spot.
Okay, now we're going to go back to baseball, and we're going to show you 3 great gold glove plays. First, we have a Rafael Furcal at the shortstop. Well, first we have the hit. And we have Furcal on his butt, switches to his left, and able to throw the player out at second. We're going to rewind, back it up, and take this back again. Show you one more time. He's able to dive for it, get to his left, on his back, able to still throw it out. That's impressive. Now we have short range, great gold glove play by Astros pitcher. He's able to, impressive reflexes on his part to able to turn and get it. Then we have another long range dive play where the Mets player is able to throw the person out at second. He also was able,
Yeah.
he also
I think the biggest thing about this, Shawni, is just the range on all these. You know, you got a range up the middle, range on the left side, and then you have a pitcher who just has great reaction timing. That's why we hold this glove up here. If you win with the glove, you can win anything. So you know what? We're going to go from inside the huddle to back and give you some quick hitters. I might throw some fastballs right back in 2 minutes. Welcome back. Let's get back into some quick hitters. Big game in town tonight, Shawni, between the Knicks and the Bucks for that number 8 seed. What are you looking for in this matchup?
It's all Brandon Jennings. Last time these two competed on March 26th, he went 6 for 22. If he stays smart, fast-paced, and on his toes all night, Baron Davis will have a hard time definitely keeping up with him.
No, I agree with you on that, and I think a big matchup is Monte Ellis versus Carmelo Anthony, two shooting guards going at it. Who's going to score more points in this one? You know, on ESPN, spotlights down on them. Should be an interesting one. Who do you got in that one?
Between Melo and Monte Ellis?
No,
or
between the Bucks
game?
and the Knicks.
I'm going with the Bucks just because of the home court advantage. I think that plays really big into this, what they call the first playoff game tonight because their records are so close.
Yeah, and Lamar Odom, more NBA news. He just got released, and he's looking for a new team right now. Him and Mark Cuban got into a little thing. He seemed like he didn't want to try this year.
They said all year long that they want to have people down the bench that they can rely on, and he's not one of them. He's not putting in the effort. He's just not on his game.
You know, sixth man of the year only scored 6 points for the game. I don't know, averaging that's not good. And, you know, he might want to come back to the Lakers and maybe not go on television shows with the Kardashians.
Yeah, my first thing was he should probably take Chris Humphries' advice and get out as fast as he can.
Well, you know what? To close out the show, you got to check us out on Twitter and show us some love. And that's it for Quick Hitters. Thanks for watching. I'm Donnie Dwyer alongside Shawni Smith. Remember, stay hot, Marquette.